come on. Oh, sit here. Okay, now to do the thing I wanted to do for the opening. Yeah, I wanted him to dance. Hello, welcome to the Wild Review. I'm the Wild Reviewer, and welcome to night 28 of 31 Wild Halloween Review Nights. Hey, it's been a while since we've talked about Dracula, so why don't we talk about some Dracula? Today we're taking a look at a television special, one of the last television specials that a lot of people don't talk about. I may know why, because it's so old. If you were somebody who grew up in the late 70s, maybe even the early 80s, if they aired it around that time, you might know this special, but for anybody who was born from the 90s up, including myself, you probably have no idea what this was. This is the Halloween that almost wasn't. Or as some people know it as, The Night Dracula Saved the World. Which is a very confusing title because he doesn't save the world, he just saves the holiday of Halloween. The world has nothing to do with it. Released in 1979 on ABC, this Halloween TV special stars Judd Hirsch as Count Dracula, who calls a meeting with all the other Halloween monsters when he hears a rumor that Halloween might be coming to an end. Thinking it has something to do with the other monsters slowly losing their scare, they discover their witch friend is behind this rumor as she wants to give up her position of being a witch. Unless Dracula can come to an agreement with her demands, she refuses to fly over the moon on Halloween night. If that happens, that means it's the end of Halloween forever. So Dracula and his monster friends do everything they can to change her mind and force her to fly. Have I made it clear yet that the 70s were kind of an odd time? The version that I saw watching this wasn't called The Halloween That Almost Wasn't. It was called that other title, The Night Dracula Saved the World, which I'm kind of baffled with because the world was never at stake here. We were just dealing with Halloween. The witch didn't want to fly over the moon, and that meant Halloween was going to cease to exist. That's another problem I got with this special. We talked about this yesterday, kind of, with Scary Godmother 2. The idea that a holiday is so in danger that it's going to cease to exist, that doesn't happen. I mean, I get the whole creative side of the story. You're making it interesting. That's the adventurous part of the story. That's what we're saving, but I can't wrap my head around it. Regardless on those thoughts, I thought it was fine. It was weird. It was a bit interesting to watch. Hirsch plays a pretty good Dracula, if I have to be really honest. He looks like Dracula. He had a pretty good Dracula accent. I kind of prefer his over Adam Sandler's, which probably doesn't sound like a shock to anybody else. It was a cute little special. It was clearly for a young audience, kind of for a family audience. I learned a bit, which I didn't expect to get from this special. I learned a bit of Halloween culture. Not in the sense that I never knew it before, but they give like a little insight to why we carve pumpkins and why we wear costumes on Halloween. Even going over a small little history of All Hallows Eve, which if you don't know is where Halloween gets its name. Those were all brought up by a family that's in this special that doesn't have much to do with this special, but they kinda do. Whenever we see this family in this special, for the limited time that we do, I want to say if you add up all their scenes, they probably don't even come to a total of 10 minutes. I like how they're listening to the news on how Halloween might cease to exist forever if the witch doesn't fly over the moon, and yet the dad's carving the pumpkin with the son. The mom is making the costume for their daughter. Even when their costumes are ready, they're all standing by the TV wondering what's gonna happen to Halloween. Do I hate this special because of that? I don't feel like I hate this special. Also, congrats on this being one of the very few Halloween films to actually confirm that monsters are real and people not making a big deal out of it. I thought the monsters were cool. And I like how they are slowly getting a bit soft. Like, they have Frankenstein dancing and the Wolfman is scared. The mummy doesn't talk. Neither does the zombie. They didn't have the Invisible Man. you missed out. Yeah, the monsters were cool. The idea of the monsters going soft and not actually being scary, that's not the first time that we've seen this. I didn't mention it when we were talking about the Halloween Town films, but there seems to be a common theme when we're dealing with these monster films. Aside from the Universal films, even in Hotel Transylvania, you can kind of see that they aren't as scary. And the idea that monsters not being scary because they don't want to, and that's just a stereotype for them, that is a plot device. How do I feel about it? Maybe just stick to being freaky. Dracula was kind of the only one who was like intense with being kind of cruel and scary in this one. I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing, especially when you're dealing with a children's story, because you don't want to freak them out too much. They should be scary to a point. Like if you involve Frankenstein, you should at least kind of stick to his character traits. Like Hotel Transylvania does that very well with keeping with the monster traits but still kind of making them very lovable for the audience that's watching them. Let's talk about the witch. I don't know if she had a name. I'm pretty sure her name was mentioned. The problem is she's not really referred to as her name as much. I think it was mentioned in the beginning. Even when I looked up the cast, the only one who really had a name was Count Dracula. The woman who played the witch, she was just credited as the witch. So now I gotta refer to her as the witch in this special. I like how she was a bit wicked towards the others. I do like how her whole point of the story is she doesn't want to be a witch anymore because she's tired of being looked down on. She's tired of being called ugly. She's tired of the name calling and tired of being looked at as a freak. Yeah, the whole story is just a big chase to get her to comply with actually going forward with Halloween. It was entertaining. It was enjoyable. I never looked away and was like, wow, this was really bad. But you can tell it's got a certain tone to the story that makes it seem like it's too childish for its own good, but can be enjoyable for whoever watches it. I want to talk about the ending, because that was an ending. Obviously, Halloween goes forward. The two kids from the family scenes, the two scenes that we get from them, they show up at the end full-blown in their costumes. They go to they're at the witch's castle and they're pleading for her to fly over the moon. We don't want Halloween to go away. We love you. And because of those two kids being so passionate to her, she decides to fly over. And we actually get a really nice shot of the witch in front of a moon. Sure, it's green screen, sure, it looks corny and cheesy, but it's actually a really cool looking shot. I can't get behind these two kid characters though. That scene made them look like that they were very important to the story, and yet they're not. They were in like 3 scenes. I don't even know how they knew where the witch was. We didn't see their adventure on going to convince the witch. One moment the two of them are in their house with their parents. The next they're at the witch's castle trying to convince her to fly because they don't want to lose Halloween. Do their parents know they left the house? There's a zombie in this special. We haven't really looked at too many zombie things, have we? I mean, we looked at Paranorman, which I guess is a zombie film, but we haven't looked at a full-blown zombie movie. Huh. Well, that's on me then. There's a disco party at the end of this. I don't know why. I mean, it's not necessarily something that you have to sit through because it's going on while the credits are rolling. So unless you care about the credits, I don't think it's a big deal if you skip that bit. It's just a dance party. Yeah, this was a special. The Halloween that almost wasn't. I like that title better. It's a fun little Halloween special from the 70s. If you're interested in seeing it, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's like 24 minutes. It is enjoyable. There are bits that did make me laugh. I liked watching the interactions between Dracula and Igor. Yeah, the little comments that Dracula makes, not just to Igor, but to everybody. they made me chuckle. There's a scene where they're running through the hallway trying to catch the witch. They do the kind of Scooby-Doo chase scene where they go from one room to another in the small hallway they're in. Also, in the ending, when the witch flies over the moon, you see all the monsters waving to her out the window, and the two kids are there. And what made me laugh a lot was the fact they freeze frame that scene and they zoom in on the two kids who are just looking up, and they look so confused. Like, they don't even look happy. One of them looks like she has no idea what she's looking at. The other one looks like he's tired of what's going on. Like, he doesn't want to be there. So I found that pretty humorous. But I'll let you check it out for yourself. I don't know if any of you have probably seen it. I highly doubt it because it is a pretty old special. But if you're interested in checking it out, look it up. It's cool. It's a fun little thing to watch for Halloween. I should make it clear there is no difference between this and the night Dracula Saved the World. It is literally the exact same thing, just a different title. So if you find that one, it's the same exact story. And that's pretty much it from me. So now you can go to bed, wake up, just so you can see another one of these tomorrow, because we're on day 29 tomorrow, or night 29. Tune in tomorrow as we're going to look at our final Halloween television special, which I still, thinking about it now, have no idea how to describe it. It's just, well, it's hard to describe in words. I'm pretty sure if you've seen it, though, maybe you'll have better words to describe it. If not, you're just like me trying to figure out, what was that? Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Review, and you just saw me review a thing.